Okay, let's see. We're going live on Facebook. Facebook's live. Just giving a second for Insta. Let's see as soon as Insta goes live as well. So yes, welcome. My name is Tanya Jooste. I'm coming from our page Botanicamy, an alchemy of soothing botanic ingredients. And today we're on episode 25 already. So we've done quite a couple. We are doing a beautiful oil today. Not your grandmother's patchouli. Maybe it is your grandmother's patchouli, I don't know. But we are speaking about one of my top very nice smelling oils today. It's called patchouli. So if this is one of the ones that you requested, well done, awesome. We are going to be talking about all the various benefits. And patchouli is really beautiful, not only aromatically, but it has a lot of benefits for really healthy skin. And also there's quite a lot of other body systems that really benefit from using patchouli. So it's going to be quite exciting. I just want to see why my Instagram hasn't gone live. Just want to check what is going on here. Definitely, I'm not sure what's going on with Instagram. So as I'm trying to figure out Insta, I can see people are coming in on Facebook, which is awesome. Hello Marlies, I can see you've sent me a smiley face, so I can see you there. If you would like me to give you a shout out, then obviously just remember to put something in the comments. There we go. Definitely not. Insta is not working today. So shall we just carry on with Facebook and then I'll go and add it to Instagram afterwards. That's rather unfortunate, IGTV. I just want to try one more time to see if I can get it to go. There we go. I'm just like quickly trying to see if I can get back online on Insta, and then as soon as that's ready we can start our live today. Beauty of technology. All right, let's see if that's going. Checking connection. Yay, okay, Insta is finally live, so exciting. Welcome IGTV. All right, so, oh shame Alina, that's so nice of you. Welcome Alina. She got an instant notification when I went live, which is really cool. You will get instantly notified if you're actually following my page. So if you've gone and clicked on either on Instagram or on Facebook and you've said you would like my page, or you follow Botanicamy, then obviously you're going to be alerted, which is really kind of cool. Hello Alison, I can see you've joined on IGTV. Awesome. Wave. I'm going to give a wave straight back at you. Really good to have you on. And as people are starting to log in into Facebook, remember to go and pop something in the comments and then I can say hi to you as well. I also have Lullabags that has just joined. So welcome to you Lullabags. Let's see if we can teach you something about a beautiful oil called patchouli today. So patchouli is an incredibly fragrant oil and it's very high in sesquiterpene alcohols. And if you smell it from the bottle as is, I think it's quite different compared to when you're applying it topically to the skin. And patchouli is one of those, I think, that sort of blends with whatever is going on in your skin. So, you get some essential oils or some fragrances even that sort of blend and due to the acidity level that you find on your skin, due to your microbiome, it sort of adapts and it smells different on different people. And that to me is incredibly fascinating. So let's get digging into the beautiful oil of patchouli. I think the top constituent in there, being a sesquiterpene alcohol, is actually called patchoulol or patchouli alcohol. And again, not the alcohol that we drink, not that one. It's about the functional group. But when you find oils that are incredibly high in these specific alcohols, when you're using them aromatically, they're very relaxing, grounding. And they help soothe occasional anxious feelings, which is obviously a lot of us benefit from every now and then. Some of us more than others, I think. Hello, Trish. I can see you've just logged in. Welcome, welcome. So, aircon guy. Also, we have aircon guy. Interesting having an aircon guy in here. Maybe I could send you a message to come and service my aircons. I don't know. That's that time of summer where your aircons start like dripping out the water when the little tubey gets blocked. I think I've got to do a very big service of my aircons this year. And I'm probably going to be starting to use some essential oils and see how they go, because a lot of them have anti-fungal properties, obviously. And today's oil is no different from that, to try and see how we can keep our things at home squeaky clean. Right, so let's get back to the sesquiterpene alcohols. Where Aircon Guy is actually Marisa on her husband's Facebook and Instagram. So welcome, Marisa. Thank you for clarifying. But now I know, Marisa, that your husband is an Aircon Guy. Good information to know. All right, so let's carry on. The sesquiterpene alcohols, as I said, very relaxing when you're using it aromatically and grounding. Topically, very rejuvenating to the skin, and I think patchouli in particular has got additional skin benefits, which I'm going to be delving into a little bit more deeply today. Also really good cleansing properties, and therefore it helps your skin to look healthy and rejuvenated. So oils that are going to be used internally, specifically if they're high in these types of alcohols, of course you've got to use a food safety grade oil. Please remember, if there is a supplement box on the side and it tells you how you can use it internally, then it's safe. If not, please don't. If it says not for internal use, definitely not a good idea. Alina says, oh no, what happened? Lost connection. I seem to still have connection on my side, so hopefully, Alina, you're in. If anyone else has lost connection, just let me know in the comments. Perhaps it's just Alina's internet. And let's see how we go on. Otherwise, you can always go and catch the replay on my YouTube channel. My phone tends to remember the videos, so then I go and upload it there, and you can always go and look in my playlist called the Singles Series to go and also view previous recordings made from all my single oils. So if you're going to be using an oil that is food grade, and it's a trusted brand, backed by science. In other words, lab results, guys, very important. I only buy essential oils when there's a batch code on it, and my particular favorite brand actually gives me the lab results for every single batch of oil. To me, as a microbiologist, incredibly important, right? So if that's not, if that's something that fascinates you and you want to reach out to me for some more information on where I get the specific brand, obviously please do. I can help you to get these oils, but it's really important to me as a scientist to know what I'm putting inside and on top of my body. And to me, those lab results proving that they're pure is absolutely important. All right, so I can also see that Kubis is just logged in. Welcome. Oh yay, Alina's back. Her internet is good. Marlies, welcome. And even Shanae is in. Oh, I've got a lot more people today. Apparently patchouli is quite a popular oil. Really cool. So when you're going to be using these oils internally, if they are safe, Essential Daily Drops has just joined. So that's Chucky. Hello, welcome Gisela. It's going to be supporting a really good circulatory system and also the nervous system, because most of these sesquiterpene alcohols are what we call nervines. So they calm the nervous system down, which is really, really awesome. Ooh, I can see a lot of love hearts coming. Thank you. I can see a hello from Catherine, another one. All right, so let's see. Someone's requesting to be in my live video. Are you sure, Chucky, you want to come live on with me on my live video today? Go and put that in the comments. I've never tried it, so we could perhaps try it and see what happens. I'm not sure. Technology. We learn as we go. All right, so you can see there's quite a lot of benefits from using patchouli aromatically, topically, as well as internally, especially if you've got a food grade one. Please do not use internal if not food grade. We also have Melody that's just joined. Hello, Melody. Welcome. Good to have you on today. So let's dig a little bit into that skin issue, because when I actually sent out the reminder for today's post about my patchouli live, I did mention that skin loves patchouli. So let me explain to you why. It's really good for the sebaceous glands, and it helps to keep them clean and clear. Because of the sesquiterpenes, it helps to keep them clean, but also patchouli is very high in components that has got antibacterial as well as antifungal properties. So there was this amazing study done on specifically the bacteria which sort of have an effect on your skin. So people that tend to have quite a lot of bumps and things on their skin, who have a lot of skin reactions in that kind of sense, caused by specific bacteria, or when your hormones go in balance, that kind of thing. Zanatoya saying patchouli perfume is one of her favorites. Yes, patchouli is definitely an absolute favorite, and we'll get into the deodorizing properties in a minute as well. But part of it is because of the antibacterial and the antifungal properties. So basically what happens is they did this study and they tested quite a large amount of essential oils, and it's to prove scientifically, because there's a lot of hearsay. I mean, there's a lot of information from the past saying this oil is going to be good for that and this oil is going to be supporting for that. Hello, I can see Audrey's also just logged in. Welcome, Audrey. But what they did with a study, fascinates me, obviously doing the proper scientific research behind what these oils really do, is they also tested them in combinations. So they tried to check when they were using single essential oils and when they combined them with other oils, which had the most benefit, and whether the benefit was due to other reactions or because of their very high antibacterial content, specifically now talking about skin conditions. And what they found specifically were the two organisms that are most likely or almost always associated with this particular skin reaction that you have. The two organisms that are involved with that, basically ylang ylang came up really high and being very beneficial in both conditions for both bacteria, but also vetiver. So those are two incredible oils. And they found that patchouli in combination with one of those, so either with vetiver or in combination with ylang ylang, is really beneficial because of the very high antibacterial properties that patchouli actually has. So here's a top tip for really good skin care, especially when your sebaceous glands might be a little bit blocked, or when they become bacterially contaminated and they tend to bump up and you sort of get like not a good skin. Patchouli is definitely an essential oil to add when you're making either a serum for your face or whether you're making an at-home moisturizer. Don't forget about the vetiver and ylang ylang to add that in there as well. Please do remember also that vetiver is really good for skin discolorations too. So you're going to get quite a lot of benefits from incorporating these essential oils into your daily skincare routine. All right, so always when you start thinking of patchouli, first thing, think sebaceous glands. Those are all the glands that secrete sebum onto your skin to keep it moisturized. Sometimes it is a little bit more infected than it should be. Sometimes they become a little bit clogged. And patchouli is going to go a very long way in helping that stay clean and clear. Okay, so that's the first amazing thing about patchouli. The next thing obviously is a study that I read that I actually talked about on Monday on my Facebook page as well as my Insta page, in where it is incredibly supportive to the digestive tract. And in Chinese medicine, they actually use the patchouli plant. So the aerial parts of the patchouli plant, they dry and they use that in a medicine to support good gut health, because people that suffer from a bowel disorder tend to have a lot of discomfort, and patchouli is really good for that. So also a really good internal oil then if you're going to be supporting good gut health. So I mentioned that patchouli or patchouli alcohol, and seeing as Quibus has just logged in, I'm just going to remind Quibus, patchouli is not beer. It's not that type of alcohol, but it's going to be really good for your skin when you're not looking after your gut so well, and you need to support the skin there. So basically the chemical constituents, they're all very high in sesquiterpene alcohols, and the most benefit I'd say is definitely, yes, I can see Quibus is laughing. Obviously the time delay on Facebook is quite severe today. The skin really benefits, the gut really benefits, but I think above all, the thing that really fascinates me most about patchouli is the role that it plays in dopamine. Now, maybe I should just explain a little bit more. Dopamine is what we call a neurotransmitter, and I know this is a word that I use very often, because remember, when we're using essential oils aromatically, they travel up the nasal passage, and just below that bony part, mine is quite big, I know, but just below there is where your olfactory nerve sensors sit. They pick up these messages from the oils and they send it to your limbic brain, and this can then go to work in either decreasing or increasing certain neurotransmitters. Now, what a neurotransmitter is, it's basically it's what talks between your nerves, right? So patchouli is a nervine, it is a neurotransmitter, so it sends messages between the nerves, but particularly dopamine in here, how that's involved is, remember, dopamine is that I am stuck to my iPad hormone. That's how I normally remember it. It's your ability to feel good. Pleasure. Dopamine is your ability to feel pleasure. And when your dopamine is low, that's why so many people are addicted to their screens, because it's an artificial high. It increases the dopamine levels, so they feel really good about themselves. And pleasure, it's a really pleasurable experience. So patchouli has the ability to increase dopamine secretion. And what that means is if you're someone that suffers from occasional anxious feelings, for example, or your dopamine levels tend to be low, so you don't tend to feel good or joy or pleasure very regularly, patchouli is a really good essential oil to put in a diffuser, and it blends incredibly well with peppermint. So then you're going to get this beautiful peppermint patchouli combination. Peppermint is really uplifting and energizing, and then you have the patchouli that can help you out a little bit with the dopamine. So really good match made in heaven, really, I'd say, to have in a diffuser if you're someone that suffers from those kinds of mood conditions. All right, so digestive tract, skin, dopamine. I think those are the three top tips or the three top uses for me, specifically for patchouli. I love adding it to my body moisturizer because, as I said, it smells different on everyone. It sort of adapts to what's going on your body. And it also is really deodorizing, and now we know it's because of the really good antibacterial and antifungal properties. So you are going to be supporting your skin. It's also really good for dehydrated skin, aging skin, and it's going to help with those scenarios as well as the deodorizing properties. So it's a 2-in-1. It's a natural perfume on your skin on the one side. It's also, for example, in one of my very favorite perfume blends, which I buy from my favorite company, which has got oils in there to actually help you increase your concentration level, your focus. But it smells so amazing because of the single essential oils that are in that blend that I actually use it as a perfume very routinely, and patchouli is a very strong component in that perfume, or pure fume I should rather say. So really good to add it to your skin moisturizer. You can just put 2 drops to your entire dollop that you're going to apply to your body, or 1 drop, for example, to the dollop that you're going to apply to your face. But because it's so incredibly good in keeping sebaceous glands clear, another area where it's really beneficial is on your head, in your hair. So definitely a good one to also add specifically to your dollop of conditioner, for example, when you are conditioning your hair. All right, so the antifungal properties and the antibacterial properties, because we always associate it with a really good smelling oil, we don't necessarily always understand or think a little bit further on why it is so deodorizing and why it smells so good. So for those of you that are really interested, you can actually have make a really nice DIY foot soak at home, specifically when you have a little bit of fungal trouble, I'd say, between your toes and your feet. And if you're really interested in seeing this beautiful foot soak that you can make at home, if you want to make your own sort of blend, then please go into the comments and pop in there in the comments for me, foot soak, and I'm going to be sending to you a very nice sort of recipe that you can put together to soak your feet in. And at the same time, it's going to be self-care, obviously, but that 15-minute soak is going to go a really long way in supporting, specifically when you have some kinds of fungal conditions running around in your toes. Running around, that sounds so funny. I always think of bacteria and fungi as they move, because obviously I used to see them very often under a microscope, and they do move. So running here is probably not the right word. In my head it makes sense. Okay, so Melanie is asking for the foot soak. I can see that. Welcome. Yes, I will send you that recipe. Hello Beverly, I see you've also logged in on Insta. I will be sending you that foot soak recipe too. So yes, for all of you that want that recipe, please go put it in there. It's got some beautiful essential oils in there that have all got antifungal properties, and you blend it with some Epsom salts, and then you put it into a nice sort of a tub with your feet in there, your twinkly toes, so that they can become twinkly again, and not be dim and grim with the fungi that are running around, in Tanya's terminology. That is not the right scientific term, but it's one of my favorites. All right, so definitely a good essential oil to have around. I can see Gwen is also asking on my Facebook page for the foot soak. It's a good essential oil to have around for nerving issues, nerves, those kind of scenarios. It's good for the dopamine, the hair, the oily hair, the skin that needs the benefit, because your skin might be a little bit too oily, and then you get the little bumps, especially if those 2 organisms that are present that are most prevalent for those skin conditions. So it's a really amazing oil to have around. And by the way, it's also safe around cats and dogs. So it's not one of those that you have to sort of hide the diffuser when you're not sitting around with your cats. I'm very cognizant about that also, because my cats are usually around me, sort of attached to the hip. They're like little dogs. They're not little, but they are my dogs. And because they are always around me, I have to be very concerned about what I put in my diffuser and that kind of thing. And it was so odd this morning, I actually put quite a lot of patchouli in my body butter. My hand sort of slipped with a bottle. And for some reason, my cat was more lovable than normal. So I don't know, maybe she needed an extra dopamine kick today. Who knows? So yeah, a really amazing oil to have around, and they are safe around cats and dogs. Just don't slather it on their coats, please. That's not the idea here. It's just that it is going to be a safe oil for them if you're going to be putting it in a diffuser. It's not going to faze them too much. But as I always say, keep the door open, keep windows open anywhere you're diffusing, so that your cats can and dogs can leave the room. They're incredibly intuitive. They know what's good for them and what's not good for them, so that they can leave the room if need be. So Lullabags is asking what carrier oil is best to use when applying to the skin. So I have my firm favorites for carrier oils. I tend to love jojoba on my skin, on my face specifically, because it's really close to the sebum that your face is already secreting. All right, so jojoba can be used for any skin type, whether it's aging, whether you've got dry skin, sensitive skin, even oily skin. If you want a general all-round, a good carrier oil for your body, grapeseed oil is a great choice. If you've got a dehydrated older skin, I would say go for grapeseed oil or olive oil, and ava oil is really good, by the way. But ava oil I wouldn't use straight. I would always dilute that out with some other carrier oil. So for example, making a combination of a lot of carrier oils together. Many people like using sweet almond oil. Be careful if you've got a nut sensitivity. I do, so I don't have sweet almond oil in my home at all. I'm also fractionated coconut oil is a really amazing carrier oil, because it doesn't become rancid as quickly as most other carrier oils. My skin doesn't like coconut on it, so definitely I don't put it on my face. I tend to make roller bottles with fractionated coconut oil, because you're only applying a very small amount, but in the fact of moisturizing and having to apply it, for example, as a serum, my body doesn't like fractionated coconut oil, or coconut oil for that matter. There are some really good websites around. So if you do want to go and do a search on which carrier oil is going to be the best for your specific skin type, go and type into Google comedogenic factor. Coconut oil is really good for mature skins, but it's really high on that scale of clogging pores. So even though my skin is really dry, I get very sort of pimply from using coconut oil, which is why I don't use it. Argan oil is being suggested on Instagram. Argan oil is really good for the hair, but it is really oily, so always just use in very small amounts. It's also really good for the skin. Argan is a very strong carrier oil in a sense, so I would again always dilute it out a little bit with something like a grapeseed oil or an olive oil, because those are also quite a lot cheaper, for example, than making it just with a carrier oil. Things that are really good for your face is rosehip as well, but again, one of those that is a little bit more pricey, and you don't need as much of it. So perhaps a 20% of the rosehip oil, and then the rest can be, for example, avo and olive and grapeseed oil. So there we go, a whole lesson on carrier oils, when today was actually about patchouli. I'll go add that in the description if someone else wants to learn about that as well. I can see Monica's also asking for the recipe, so I'll get those off to you as soon as possible after this live. And then I'm going to say thank you to all of you that joined me again today. Patchouli is definitely one of my favorites. I hope after today it's one of yours too. It's really good in a perfume, if you're going to make your own perfume or your own homemade deodorant. A good oil to sort of pair, I'd say, in the deodorizing capacity when you're making an underarm thing, I would say Siberian fir. So Siberian fir together with the patchouli is really good in a deodorizing capacity, and then you can start blending it with things like the ylang ylangs and other flowers, and also then wood oils as a sort of a fixative. So a frankincense, for example, to keep the smell there for longer on your skin, together with a carrier oil. So those would be really good for the deodorizing. And then let's not forget about the really powerful effect it has on your emotions and your brain. And those sebaceous glands. I mean, that was the most fascinating thing for me. And I think the other thing is the bowel support. Gut health is very close to my heart, because it's something that I've struggled with most of my life. Recently, I'd say the last 2.5 years or so, since I've adapted my diet, my exercise, and started incorporating more natural remedies and decreasing toxic load, my gut is doing one heck of a lot better, I've got to tell you. And obviously, patchouli is definitely part of that program because it is so really good for the bowels specifically. All right. So here we go. Thank you so much for joining today. I answered Alina's question before she even asked it, so really happy. There we go. Some nice intuition going on there. I hope to see you all again next week, Thursday, for my next live. Please feel free to share this with anyone that you think wants to learn about patchouli. And if you do not have a tested great essential oil yet and you want to know where to get hold of them, please reach out to me. You can find me either on Instagram or on my Facebook page. I'm on YouTube, and of course on my website, botanicchemy.com. So see you all again next week. Cheerio. Bye-bye.